listening to us.
Okay. Now listen. Let me ask you a question. Do we have to introduce that we start on 2, or we just start on 2?
No, we're just gonna tell them this is part 2.
This is part. Okay,
yeah.
So this is part 2 of Head of State.
Yeah, this is gonna be part 2 of
That's the states that had a head.
Now this particular part is just gonna be of the speech that he gave. One of the first speeches that he gave, that his brother told him to speak freely, told him to speak from the heart. Mm-hmm. So this is going to show exactly what he means, what he's trying to get off his chest, and well, that's all.
They say that Trump's brother told him the same thing. So just get up there and speak your heart. And he just started telling who he liked and didn't like. And then he said, well, what would you say about that, President? He said, I would just say that you just a bad reporter. He just tell him, boy. He ain't care.
He don't though.
Man, he was straight up bold, man.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Chicago, please welcome your next president, Alderman Hayes
See, really what this part shows you, it shows you how different people can be. Like when you get ready to tell the truth, you don't need all that nonsense. You know that? When you get ready to tell it like it really is, and now see by this time, Sister Girl had done changed how she was rolling.
Well, no, she hadn't. She
hadn't put off the bus yet.
No, this is not yet. This is not yet.
Okay.
This is her still trying to badger him.
I think she didn't fine, so I just want to keep her, y'all.
Now here's something that's kind of interesting about this, because this particular guy,
that guy right there,
he was all for open speaking.
Open
right? He wanted him to be for himself, wanted him to speak.
He wanted
from the heart at first, because he was down for the campaign, really, because he didn't really want to be a part of either side. Mm-hmm. He didn't really want to pick, but then he thought about it, like, well, I'm not going to do him any harm.
Okay, he's done that to me. Saying all that to say what?
Well, I'm explaining the parts that they were going through while you were sitting there over there talking about boogity and stuff. I'm trying to inform the audience on what's going on.
Hey, look here, baby. What did I tell you about 98% or 100?
Okay.
$1.98.
I'm gonna keep it $1.98.
Keep it $1.98.
You know, they had a speech written for me.
But you don't need my 2 cents.
About what the people need. But you guys
he
are the
started
people.
talking for real.
You know what you need.
Started listening.
Better schools.
That's what's
better
happening.
jobs. You need.
Because I fast forward about a mistake.
You know, they had a speech written for me about what the people need. But you guys are the people. You know what you need. Better schools. Better jobs. Less crime. How many of you right now work 2 jobs just to have enough money to be broke? That ain't right. If you work 2 jobs, and at the end of the week, you got just enough money to get your broke ass home, let me hear you say, that ain't right. How many of you have children that they call stupid? Don't be ashamed. It ain't your fault. I asked my niece the other day, what's 4 plus 4? She said 44. But that ain't her fault. That's the school's fault. Now, if your child's school has old-ass books and brand-new metal detectors, let me hear you say, that ain't right. That ain't right. It ain't right. And now we got...
I don't know what kind of realization that is. I used to deliver to schools, man, for years. And, man, it was always crazy to see that in the front they had metal detectors in some of these schools, man. And police officers outside and inside. I mean, the schools just had that kind of reputation, and it was always black schools. Always black schools. I mean, I've done all the different counties, so I've been to all of them, and I'm just telling you, man, that only happened in black schools.
Yeah, I can't say that.
Not all black schools
didn't have it.
But where it was happening was in the black schools, because there was some schools, like the school you guys went to.
Yeah, we had
Shout out to city neighbors.
Yeah, we had a school police officer. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but and you know,
They were
luckily,
cool, though, so.
yeah, you know, luckily they didn't have any situations that they actually needed to search kids every day. You know, like we didn't have that. They didn't make us do that. You know, they just had a certain dress code, and as long as you followed it, that was it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm grateful for the fact that we didn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. You know, now it's high school, so stuff happens, but it's not like that. You know, so I was lucky
You know,
fortunate not to have that experience.
The thing is with schools, when this school started, I guess it was a charter school.
Yeah.
And the concept that it had was to create this community for these kids to learn. And it started out really good. And then the city got involved in it because they decided, well, you guys should have more children that special need, that children that comes from broken homes. And they started bringing in all these other kids that were not part of the program. And of course, you know, you hear them argue about this all the time in Congress. If you don't do what we say we're gonna do, what we tell you to do, they don't give you the funds.
Yeah.
And that's how that game went, man. And messed that school up to where now it's just a shell of the school that it was when it first started. And it didn't take that long either. But thank God we managed to get 3 sets of kids through there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was after that, it just
And then it just deteriorated. But anyways, go back to the thing.
back to the speech. We're
These
back to the speech.
We're
corporations
doing our own speech, and
stealing all the money. They stealing their money, they stealing our money.
that's our
The pension. You worked for 35 years.
They
You
just
thought
put-
you was gonna leave your kids a will. Now you gonna leave them a won't. You show up to get your pension, they give you a pen. Give you a damn pen. Now what the hell am I supposed to do with a pen? I should just stab you in the neck with this pen, Mr. Pension Taker.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
Taking everybody's pension and nobody going to jail.
That's some bullshit.
You know what's that
bullshit.
Meanwhile,
came from Malcolm X.
What? I'm sorry.
When the white guy stood up and said, get your hand out of my pocket. That came from the movie, the Malcolm X movie.
Yeah.
When he said that when they was practicing how they was going to assassinate him, that's how they was going to create the distraction. The guy hollered, get your hands out my pocket, nigga. And when that distraction started, that's when the other 2 guys supposedly shot him that was standing on the stage or up in the top wherever because they had, man, they had so much stuff.
Okay, that was the Okay.
They had a lot. I mean, the information is out there. It's just
so
kinda
much
sad.
of it, man.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
point. That's why I try to cite through all that stuff. Oh, go ahead with it.
while you or I, we steal a Big Mac with cheese. Next thing you know, we on death row. How many of you work in a city you can't afford to live in? That ain't right. How many of you work in a mall that you can't afford to shop in? That ain't right. How many of you clean up a hotel you ain't never gonna be able to stay in? That ain't right. And we got nurses that work in hospitals that they can't even afford to get sick in. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. It isn't right. That shit is wrong. It's that wrong. I'm Mace Gilliam, and I'm running for President of the United States of America.
Yeah,
That was
that's a good piece, man.
man. He
That's a good.
he
powerful
spoke to
piece.
the people.
And that's what he did, man. He picked their language up. You know, it's like I always say, if you can play that particular game,
You know, this
or play
Bernie
that
Mac.
song that they like, man.
You know, this Bernie Mac was out there in the crowd though.
Oh yeah, cheering him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's out there. I mean, he's supposed to be vice president, and he out there, but with the people though.
yeah.
And that gives people a connection and makes them want to actually vote for you because they feel like, okay, he can feel where we're coming from. He's not just gonna give us the same run around that we've been
Plus, they
getting.
was real folks, man. I mean, they wasn't like people that you had that was all groomed to lie and be cheating and everything. These people had heart and compassion and love for people, man. And that's what they were talking from. And they just spoke what they felt in their heart, man. And it was just the truth and the honest thing. And I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't never seen The Head of States as a movie, you probably want to check it out because I thought about something else too. Anyhow, if it comes up, if it comes up, I'll remind you of this moment if you're still around. But anyhow.
I think
No, because I know when we go viral, see, it's gonna be a whole bunch of bullshit that people be talking about. You know, such and such did this and that. Even though that, it's always gonna be some shit, boy. Because people can't keep their damn mouths and know the other folks' business. You're listening to us now and then.